Holmes Field, where they are 20-2 on the season. Leading things off for Iowa State will be Malaysia Ochoa, a senior who's been a terrific hitter throughout her career in Ames. And we are underway. A dangerous Iowa State team. We mentioned the wins against ranked teams. They beat Oklahoma State twice. They beat Baylor as well. We'll see how they fare this weekend.
Well, they're a very experienced team, and not that they're loaded with seniors and juniors, but they have a good core that returned from 2023, and Coach Pinkerton actually talked to us about how excited he was for this year. Unfortunately, they had their #1 arm go down, which is a big change in pace for your program. But he said they still play ball the Cyclone way.
He said he is sad to see Texas go off to the SEC. You don't hear many coaches say that. But he will miss the rivalry, and he said they'll work on possibly resuming it in the future.
He did. He did talk about possibly coming down for a series or a tournament. But he said he is a purist at heart, so he's sad to see them go. He went all the way back to the Southwestern Conference days, even saying the matchups with Arkansas and the likes of that. So
yeah, he was a big Arkansas fan, so he used to obviously root against the Longhorns. Here in their final matchup as Big 12 opponents this weekend in this 3-game series. Count 1-2 to Ochoa. Evened up. Tegan Cavan, such an impressive record in her first year in Burnt Orange, 13-2. Ready with the 2-2. Locked in a battle early on with Malaysia Ochoa. One of the best hitters in program history. Top 10 all-time in hits, homers, RBIs, and doubles. Covers just about everything. And works the count full.
Well, Ochoa, a veteran, but also has been under the wings of athletes that had done the same thing prior to her. And Coach Pinkerton talks about the leadership piece, and Ochoa, their leader so far this season. And she learned that from Ramos last year, who had Sammy Williams, who is probably the greatest Cyclone to ever play softball.
Cavan with strikeout #1 on the night.
Cavan was elevating in the outer half of the zone. She elevates inside to get the swing and miss by Ochoa. First out retired by the freshman.
So here comes Angelina Allen, and you talk about a player having a breakout year. She went from hitting .228 a season ago to now having the 8th best batting average in the nation, hitting .452. Went through that sophomore slump, and as soon as the season came to an end, hit the film. The offseason conditioning, worked hard to move that average up, but retired here for out #2 in the first. So much quicker at bat than the previous one for Cavan. And here is Alicia Ranchez, the senior infielder from Hawaii. First Hawaiian player in history to suit up for the Cyclones.
Just a little difference in weather from Hawaii to Ames, Iowa.
What did Jamie Pinkerton tell us? It was just a month ago that it snowed 7 inches in Ames during that Tech series.
Yeah, he was talking about how you never really know, and talking about the future of the Big 12, when he should really be able to host series in Iowa, because he doesn't want to lose them due to the weather, but snow's something you're always battling.
1-1 skied to deep right field. Maloney makes the catch in front of the track. We going up against the sophomore out of California, Jaden Ralston, who comes into this one 4-6 on the year. She's had some big performances against big-time opponents, including Oklahoma, Baylor, and Oklahoma State.
Well, Ralston, just a sophomore, showing improvement this year, as you mentioned, those outings against ranked opponents. But last year against Texas, A 9.69 ERA in 4.1 innings.
Gets the first batter, Ashton Maloney. Quick fly out to left.
And that's a big out. Ashton Maloney is hitting well over 400, and she is not an easy out. So being able to retire her in the first inning to keep Texas from gaining momentum right off the bat is huge.
There comes the all Big 12 third baseman, Mia Scott. Well, pitching is how they took down Oklahoma State twice. Iowa State did. Ralston, 2 2/3 scoreless against Oklahoma, 2 scoreless against Oklahoma State. And 0 earned runs in just over 4 innings against Baylor. Another one skied to left field, 2 away.
Well, her performances against ranked opponents shows that there's not a lot of nerves. She's not getting overwhelmed with who she's throwing against, being able to focus on just making her pitches right now, doing a great job with some upspin away to these left-handed hitters.
Here's Vivi Martinez, the team leader in doubles. Had 2 more of those last night. Takes strike 1. Getting hot at the right time of the year. She's reached in 11 of her last 12 games. Three flyouts to left field of varying depth.
Huge. That's a staff that doesn't give up a lot of free bases. So Iowa State able to not just earn those, but also capitalize them and drive them in. The 3 home runs, though, as well. A staff with a lot of downspin. It's hard to lift that. So Iowa State was able to get the best of that staff a couple weekends ago.
And here is Ashley Miner, who hit one of those big home runs. The Texas native having a breakout year. Second on the team in homers and RBIs. But behind 0-2 to Tegan Cavan. It's her first base runner for Iowa State as Miner heads on over to first. Making sure she is okay. The cleanup hitter for the Cyclones. 12th time she has been hit this season.
Well, Tegan Cavan trying to use that rise ball up and in, see if she can get another swing and miss, similar to what she did to Ochoa on the left side. That one just tails too far in, but as a pitcher, you have to establish that you're not afraid to throw on the inner half, and if you hit a couple of hitters, then I don't want to say you don't care, but you don't care. You want to establish that you're not afraid to get inside there, especially if they're close to the plate.
So runner on for Tiana Poole, sophomore out of Orange, California, who's gotten hot as of late. Reached 7 times in her last 3 games. Waved at that one for strike 1. Iowa State is a team hitting about 275 on the year heading into tonight. Drop down the bunt, stays fair. The tag is made as Miner advances to second, 1 away. Katie Stewart getting the start at first.
Batting 6 and playing first base, number 1, Carly Spellhog.
Well, here's a name that certainly sounds familiar. Carly Spellhog, the senior out of Iowa. 5th most hits in Iowa State history, and of course her sister Ellie played with the Cyclones for a number of years as well. And Carly takes strike 1.
And her sister Ellie, actually outfielder and a pitcher who started her career at Bradley playing basketball and softball, I believe, and then transferred over to Iowa State to finish out with her sister.
And Carly came up with one of the biggest hits in program history 3 years ago. 7th inning home run to eliminate Northern Iowa at the Columbia Regional. That meant Iowa State was going to the first regional final in program history.
You know, when you cover programs and just an athlete's name feels like it's been there forever. I feel like we've been talking about the Spellhogs for a long time. but also
Iowa State softball, you have the Spell Hogs. Iowa State basketball, you had the Jones sisters. You're right, just names that you'll always remember, covering these teams for so many years.
Well, it shows the impact they have on the program, and Coach Jamie Pinkerton not shy to talk about Carly and her sister Ellie and what they've meant to the Cyclone program. And there was a point in time I wasn't sure that Ellie's arm was going to stay attached. They used her to save almost, or close out almost every game. And Carly actually moving from the outfield to first base this year.
Doing a nice job working the count full as well here. Payoff pitch over to Martinez. 2 away. Two outs, runner still in scoring position for Tatum Johnson, a sophomore from Chino Hills, California, who's missed 32 games this year. They've used her a little bit at the plate, sometimes in the circle as well. They've dealt with so many pitching injuries this season. You brought it up earlier in the broadcast, Kat. They lost their ace, Saya Swain, as well as a freshman pitcher as well for the Cyclones, and Johnson for over 30 games. She falls behind 0-2.
Well, and Saya Swain has been such a staple for their pitching staff since she arrived in Ames. So her going out really was a blow for Coach Pinkerton and his staff when they're now trying to formulate game plans, because the plan was, you know, probably use her twice a series and then build off of that. But hopeful that she'll be back next season in an Iowa State uniform.
Lost her in the first few weeks of the season. 1-2 on the way to Johnson. Swing and a miss. And Kavan ends categories. The Longhorns on pace for a special year right now, and a special season for Reese Atwood, who again sitting on 66 RBIs. One more would set a new Texas single season record. Takes strike one. Ralston inducing 3 flyouts to left field in the first inning. Atwood with a few fly balls this year, 15 homers, 3 shy of tying the Texas record.
It's such a banner year for the sophomore, and you have to not wonder, but think about how she's going to build on that, how the staff is going to keep her focused on just continuing on and not trying to do too much as a junior and even into the postseason.
Home run swing.
Well, Reese Atwood does have a home run against Ralston last year, 1 for 2 with a home run, 3 RBIs.
Mentioned Ralston's success. It's usually about 1, maybe 2 times through the order against opponents before they make a switch. But looking good so far, and armored up. She's got the arm tape, the shades. Reese Atwood gives one a ride to center, but it will die down in the glove of Ochoa for an exciting first out.
Well, Ralston's going to have a lot of upspin, curveball, backdoor curve, rise ball, and that's where you see all the fly balls for Texas. They have to get on plane with that pitch just a little bit more to be able to drive that for line drives or out of the park instead of it being deep fly balls.
They have a couple of fly ball pitchers. Carly Charles, their team leader in ERA, who I'm sure we'll see tomorrow, also a fly ball pitcher. You know, Texas can handle that as Katie Stewart takes ball 1.
Well, when you put a staff together, as a coaching staff, when you put your pitching staff together, you want them to complement each other. And Saya Swain is the difference maker between Ralston and Carly Charles. She's a down ball pitcher, a lot of drops, some off speed. So she offsets both of them, where if she starts a game, you can bring one of them in. If one of them starts, you can bring her in and you can play off each other. But as we mentioned, with the absence of Saya Swain, it's been a little bit more difficult for Iowa State to mix and match with so much different contrasting pitches.
Texas with 55 home runs on the year, one by Stewart last night. A 3-run shot. Ralston ready to go with the 2-1. Stewart sends one into the gap, bouncing off the wall. Katie Stewart sliding in there with a 1-out double here in the second.
Well, ahead in the count, Katie Stewart looking for something in the zone, not a curveball that doesn't get all the way to the outside corner. Stewart does a great job of driving that into the gap. Gets on her horse and hustles into second there as Ochoa making a throw in.
If you're Texas hitters, you're seeing all these fly balls, just waiting for your opportunity. Here is Alyssa Washington. Went 2 for 3 last night. What a career year she is having, batting .346, 7 home runs. Gave her the added responsibility, first captain in Texas history, and she has lived up to that. Washington foul. You never know how a player is going to respond to that pressure.
Well, as a senior, the coaching staff obviously had confidence knowing that that wouldn't throw her off too much by naming her. But the big thing they talk about with Alyssa Washington is just how well she is able to mesh and communicate and gel with almost everybody on the team. They let the team vote, and there was one name that was almost not synonymous every time they talked about it, and it was Alyssa Washington. And when you have a player of that character and that ability to relate to everyone, it's a no-brainer to let them go ahead and lead the charge.
Lays off that one as it goes 2-2. Texas averaging about 7.5 runs per game on the season. Washington to right field. Katie Stewart tags. And the throw, a good throw, but Stewart is in there with now 2 away. But another fly out. I mean, that has been the theme. Texas with some hard hit balls.
Well, and that's, you tip your hat to Ralston and the way she's able to spin the ball with the curveball, forcing Texas to get under it just a little bit, using a rise ball, low end, high in the zone. You do see Texas now trying to go opposite field with that curveball. Alyssa Washington taking a couple balls foul before that fly out to right field.
Katie Simmons has 2 home runs in her last 3 games, getting another start tonight.
Well, Simmons has just done a really good job of making the most of the opportunities she's been given. An everyday player, her first 2 years here on the 40 acres. Been in and out of the lineup, pinch hitting role, sometimes DP role, sometimes playing first base and starting, but really caught fire in Kansas, and Texas allowing her to start the midweek game on Thursday against Nichols and tonight again.
You have a player of her caliber coming off the bench. You talk about the competition on this team. Jolie Mitchell sitting .365 on the year, but had cooled off recently, so Mike White immediately plugs in Katie Simmons, doesn't miss a beat.
Well, and that's the strength of Texas right now, is the depth of their roster. So you have Jolie Mitchell, who's not hitting as well anymore, but Katie Simmons has been making the most of her opportunities. You can slide her in, not miss a beat. You still have Leanne Good, who can come in and make things happen offensively. Talk about the depth of the pitching staff. But Texas just so deep, and we've mentioned it a couple times, Alex, the deepest roster I feel like Texas has ever had.
Absolutely. Count 3-0 now to Simmons. And there is strike 1 after a meeting in the circle a moment ago between Ralston and her catcher, Camille Marin.
Ralston doesn't issue too many free passes. 1 every 2 innings. This was actually the first 3-ball count she's had so far in this game.
Katie Simmons, a .462 hitter with runners in scoring position, and earns the free pass. Runners on the corners with 2 away. First at bat that hasn't resulted in a fly ball. And here comes the talented freshman Caden Henry, who this week was named a top 25 finalist for National Freshman of the Year, along with Tegan Cavan. Last night, did a little bit of everything, Kat. Made 2 sensational catches in center and also went 3 for 3 at the plate.
Well, Caden Henry has the ability to play small ball. She dropped 2 bunts last night, but she also has the ability to leave the yard. So defensively, you have to pick how you're going to play her, because she's not a typical slapper, but she'll use short game because of her speed. Right now, RBI opportunity. Have to imagine she's going to be swinging away, but Texas did pinch run Adea Wallace, so we could wait to see if she steals second.
Wallace at first had a stolen base last night, 4 on the year. Katie Stewart over at third. Caden Henry has had a Gold Glove in center field this season. Lays down the bunt, charging in his Spellhog in time. A bang-bang play to end the inning, getting the speedy Caden Henry. Looking good so far. Tegan Cavan looking good in the circle. A couple of strikeouts and blows one past Camille Marin. You talk about a player who has a flair for the dramatic. A couple of weeks ago, the walk-off home run against Oklahoma State. That was just the 2nd homer of her career. The first one came the season before in another big contest, a ranked victory against Baylor.
You gotta love those career moments.
And one thing we know Jimmy Pinkerton's squads do is hit home runs. They've set, what, the top 4 single-season home run marks during his time at Ames.
Coach Pinkerton been around the game for a long time, and his stop here in Iowa State, probably the most impactful, especially right out the gate. But he talked to us about
first base hit of the night for Iowa State, courtesy of Marin.
Well, he talked to us about, and it's not the culture he brings, but how he tried to adapt the "we are Iowa State" culture, and this pitcher's for sure going in. But at the same time, as a coaching staff, you don't have a pitcher that you're like, oh, big moment, this person's going in. So it's got its advantages and disadvantages, but Tegan Cavan, obviously, as we mentioned, started hot right out the gate, being able to beat UCLA in her first start in Burnt Orange. Citlali Gutierrez obviously has a number of ranked wins: UCLA, Tennessee, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. She's been what you would think is probably their ace. But then you have Mac Morgan as a junior, who is just so experienced and has that Bulldog mentality and will just go right out offenses.
And that diversity in the pitching staff is really what gives teams like Oklahoma a lot of trouble. They can't just hone in and prepare for one pitcher. They tend to be thrown off when they face a variety of different type of pitchers like Texas has. Wardlow swinging a miss.
Well, it's the 5 different arms, but it's the fact that they are 5 different arms. Citlali Gutierrez, curveball, drop ball, changes speeds in numerous different ways. Tegan Cavan, more upspin with a changeup. Mac Morgan hits you heavy down. Then you got Estelle Check from the left side. And you have Sophia Simpson, who can just stifle anybody with her changeup.
Saw her. She was the only pitcher last night for either team to register a strikeout. Simpson closed things out. This is the 3rd full count of the game for Cavan. Texas's pitching staff phenomenal. And Cavan, the best ERA on the team in Big 12 play. Caught strike three. Third K of the night for the freshman.
Well, Kavan going up in the zone, but this time using a low rise ball in the outer half, just able to place that on the knees. Looks a little bit like a screwball, but she doesn't actually get inside it and force it to go out. She just tails kind of a low fastball-ish on the outside corner, but a great pitch and a full count by Tegan Kavan.
85 strikeouts now in the season in 84 2/3 innings for Kavan. Oh, 1 to Malaysia Ochoa. Ochoa's a player that's had a bullseye on her back for her entire career. She's been hit 31 times during her time with the Cyclones. A program record. Saw her teammate Minor get hit by a pitch in the second inning.
When as a power hitter, a lot of times pitchers will try to challenge you inside, and right-handed pitchers into a lefty. It can get away from them from time to time and come up and get you, whether it's in the shoulder, the hands. So as a pitching coach, if you find a pitcher that has no fear of being able to go on the inner half, you want to ride with them as long as you can, because a really good hitter does not want a well-located inside pitch.
You may or may not have delivered a few of those throughout your time.
A little bit.
And enjoyed it. Called strike three. Back-to-back strikeouts.
We haven't seen a lot of off speed from Tegan Kavan, but she pulls the changeup out right here, right at the top of the zone. That's about belt high, so Ochoa laying off of it, but strike three for Tegan Kavan.
The freshman starting to settle in. Two-way for Angelina Allen, who has reached in 17 straight games. Kavan rolling. She has struck out 3 of the last 4. Got Allen to ground out in the first. Runner is going. The throw from Atwood goes into center field and busts the pinch runners in scoring position. Don't see that too often from Atwood.
Reese Alec, good throw right over the bag, but it almost looked like miscommunication between Martinez and Washington as to who was covering, because Martinez was a little late to the bag. Nonetheless, a stolen base for Iowa State.
Yeah, Atwood obviously anticipating someone would be there. They weren't, but regardless, the count now 1-2 to Allen with a runner in scoring position.
Well, to be honest, Alex, we haven't seen a whole lot of people attempt to steal on Texas's catchers.
Martinez gobbles that one up on to Ralston in the circle, trying to keep Texas's offense at bay. What are you seeing out of her so far?
Well, right now we're just mixing pitches and locations, and right now she's only worked behind a couple of hitters, and as long as we can do that and continue to work the fringes instead of catching all white, where they can put a good barrel on it, that's what we're looking to do.
Coach, on the offensive side, what adjustments are you looking for from your lineup against Tegan Kavan?
Well, I mean, with her, she's going to work ahead, so we got to get more. We got to be more aggressive and not be passive at the plate and swing at the first one, and not get down in the count 0-1 or 0-2.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your seriousness while all of that is going on.
Well, with these yahoos, you never know what's going to happen.
Thank you, Jamie Pinkerton.
All right, thanks.
Showing a lot of poise there on camera with a stack of gloves on top of him in a tight ball game here between #1 Texas and Iowa State. Ralston allowed a double and a walk in the last inning, and here is Bella Dayton leading off the bottom of the third. What a night the senior Dayton had against Nichols last night. 2-run triple and 2 great catches in left field to get the job done for Texas. Rips one to center, right at a leaping Ochoa. Took a few steps in and then was able to recover in time.
Well, Bella Dayton almost burned Ochoa on that one. Those are the hard shots to read because it's eye height right, and you don't see if it's tailing up. That ball didn't tail up too far, but almost did on Ochoa.
You get the feeling, I mean, Texas continues to hit the ball hard in the air. It's only a matter of time as now we go the second time through the order for the Longhorns. Ashton Maloney. Maloney entered the night number 12 in the nation in batting average. Again, a player that was hitting in the 9 spot for most of this season and most of her career. For perspective, in conference play, she has a better batting average than All-Americans like Jada Coleman and Tiari Jennings. I mean, just a phenomenal season for Maloney.
Well, and when you mention her name, a lot of fans might say who. And if you're not an everyday Texas fan, she gets overlooked because she doesn't have the power numbers. You don't see a lot of extra base hits, home runs. She is a true slapper, and as much as that was prominent when I played, it's slowly dwindled to where you don't see a lot of true slappers. But Ashton Maloney, able to use her speed. She'll soft slap, she'll bunt, she'll power slap. She's able to do a little bit of everything.
Scooting over Wardlow to make the toss over to first in time. And so far, Iowa State's pitching and defense holding up. Jamie Pinkerton told us defense has been a bit of a question mark at times, and they have put in a new catcher here in the third inning, Maddie Knowles. Two-way now for Mia Scott.
Well, he did talk about Knowles and what she possesses behind the plate defensively and a strong arm. He felt like she was the stronger arm of their 2 catchers, but Marin has been swinging a better bat. So after Marin being retired in the last inning, he's able to defensively use Knowles for a couple innings before having to decide who's going to come up to bat in the next time that spot in the lineup comes.
He said usually when the opposing team gets a look at Maddie Knowles throwing the ball between innings, they think twice about running on her. Just a great arm from the freshman out of Duval, Washington. As Mia Scott watches the count go 1-1. Mia Scott saw her 9-game hitting streak come to an end last night. Still hit nearly 390 on the year. High on its side. Now Ralston did walk a batter in the last inning. And now behind 3-1 to Scott. So Texas batters adjusting. Showing a little more patience here over the last inning and a half.
Well, just her second 3-ball count, she's done a really good job, as Coach Pinkerton pointed out, of working ahead in the zone.
Mia Scott mashes one to right center. Texas is on the board. Home run number 5 on the year for the junior.
Well, Ralston gave her a dose of inside pitches, all of them balls, but Mia Scott ready for the inside pitch. This time, on top, able to drive that ball. Texas starting to heat up, get on time with Ralston and her pitches up in the zone.
I mean, what do we say? You're a fly ball pitcher going up against this Texas offense that is playing with fire. And Texas made her pay. Mia Scott makes it 1-0. And here is Vivi Martinez.
Well, and the key there was that Ralston showed her hand. You see her continuing to try to get inside to these left-handed hitters. And when the hitter is ahead in the count, they know you're not going to throw it too tight. So you're going to have to throw it over the zone. Mia Scott ready for that one in a 3-1 hitter's count.
Texas now with 56 home runs on the year in 46 games.
Home run, 272 feet, 76 miles an hour exit velo off the bat.
You've talked about this all season long. They can beat you in a variety of ways. The home runs, the power, the small ball as well. I mean, they have tremendous speed.
They're just so versatile, and each athlete is too. You know, you can take that description and that applies to Mia Scott. She can beat you with power, she can beat you with small ball, and she's also just consistent gap to gap. As you mentioned, just her 5th home run of the year. We don't see Mia Scott leave the yard a lot.
Now Texas, their at bat starting to look a little bit different against Ralston. As the count goes full. She had a 3-1 count against Scott, walked Simmons in the last inning and gave up a double to Stewart moments before that.
Well, see her trying to work an off-speed pitch in too, and that's not getting to the plate, so Knowles really working back there to keep it in front of her. That last pitch was a good pitcher's pitch to even up this count.
Texas put 7 on the board in the first inning last night and cruised to the win over Nichols. Again, the Longhorns have won 10 in a row. And in their last year in the Big 12, looking for a program record 18th win in conference play. Trying to go out with a bang. Could this be the year? I know you don't want to say anything. You don't want to jinx.
I like the chances.
Martinez with the dart to right. Backing up. Poole Texas continues to just drill the ball. And they find they're hitting the ball extremely hard off Ralston, breaking through a moment ago. What's the message to them?
Well, keep doing the same thing, really. You know, we're hitting the ball hard, like you said. We're getting good pitch to hit, so not much more you can do than that, alone to be on time and find some gaps.
Coach, given Tegan Cavan the start here in this series, what have you liked from her so far in this game?
Just the way she's moving the ball around a little bit, getting the upspin on the ball is pretty good, and then bringing that change up late in the count. So she's doing a great job so far.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Sitlali Gutierrez in the background with the stash in honor of her head coach. Meanwhile, her teammate, the freshman Tegan Cavan, doing her job in the circle. 4 strikeouts through the first 3 innings, no walks, and a single. By the way, another Texas news. Do want to let you know, congratulations to Tavondre Sweat, who was taken with the 6th pick in the 2nd round moments ago by the Tennessee Titans. Their former team you were a fan of growing up, the Houston Oilers.
Yeah. As much as you can be an Oilers fan without really knowing football, but we were. They were in Houston when I was growing up and then swiftly departed.
That loyalty is ancient history. Here's Alicia Ranchez leading off. Hardy, the order coming up for the Cyclones. Had a runner on in each of the last 2 innings. Ranchez had a big game-winning 2-run hit in the 7th inning, top of the 7th inning against Baylor last month. As Iowa State rallied from a 2-run deficit. They've had a few of those late-game comebacks in those victories against ranked teams.
And I think that's one of the characteristics of Iowa State all the time is they're gritty and they fight till the end. And that's what Coach Pinkerton always wants to see out of them is, are they fighting from pitch 1 all the way till pitch 120 or whatever it is? And he sees that most of the time out of his club. In fact, when we asked him, how would you describe your team? He said, I think the same way I do every year. Gritty, hardworking, never gives in.
What did he say? To take a line from Bill Fennelly's book, head coach of the women's basketball team at Iowa State. It's the Iowa State way. Never give up, keep fighting. They have done that this season. Their record a bit deceiving, 18-25 on the year. 5-13 in Big 12 play. Washington on to first. It's kind of been the opposite story for these offenses tonight. Texas just on the verge of breaking out with a number of hard hit balls, and for Iowa State struggling to get anything going against Cavan.
Well, Cavan has thrown 10 of 12 first pitch strikes, and we heard Jamie Pinkerton say he wanted his team to start to be aggressive more early in the count, but so far haven't seen that a ton. Right there, Ashley Miner thought about offering at that changeup, but was a little bit thrown off by the speed change.
She's got a couple of home runs in her last 4 games. Iowa State on the year, 45 home runs. It's their most in 3 seasons. Scott handles that one well. Nice play by Mia Scott at the hot corner.
Well, this is a worm burner, but takes a hop up on Mia Scott. She's able to wrangle that one in. Good throw over to first for the second out. Junior third baseman, though, has been so solid at third base for Texas this year. She was key in that Oklahoma series as well, just being able to move her feet and get to balls, make it look easy, even though they weren't really routine plays.
Kavan has induced 3 straight groundouts, and her defense behind her is taken care of. Here's Tiana Poole with 2 away, sophomore out of California. Couple of big swing and misses from Poole. And making quick work of Poole is Kavan, who's up to 5 strikeouts. The single season record, probably wondering, give me some runners on base. Give me a chance, a hitter's chance to break this mark. Leading off for the 2nd time now tonight.
Yeah, leading off, no runners on. Had a chance last night and got drilled in the head.
Yeah, good to see she's even playing tonight.
Well, Texas did use the injury runner for her after she got hit in the head. That let her come out and get evaluated and make sure she was good.
Atwood with a base knock into the gap that will roll all the way back to the wall, and it's a leadoff double for Reese Atwood.
Well, this pitch up in the zone, but over the heart of the plate. Reese Atwood loves the ball up in the zone, able to drive that into the left center gap, give Texas not just a leadoff runner on, but a leadoff runner on in scoring position here in the 4th.
Well, Lauren Sherman, the freshman's numbers don't jump out at you on this season, but she's had her moments. She was brilliant against Oklahoma State a couple of weeks ago. 5 shutout innings, no walks, but allows the leadoff hitter here in the 4th to reach. There's strike 1 to Katie Stewart.
Well, that's the first leadoff hitter to reach for Texas in this game. Something they're usually so good at is being able to get that first hitter on base somehow.
Stewart doubled in the 2nd inning and ahead of that one. There's what she did in the 1st inning, that 7-run first inning for Texas that set the tone. Leaving the yard to left, a 3-run shot. For her, that was nothing. That was like a bunt. I mean, she can go way deeper than that.
Katie Stewart known to hit that building, break some windows. We've seen her clear the scoreboard. She can do it all with her power. And again, Alex, just so comfortable hitting here at McCombs. 5 of her 7 home runs are here at home.
Are they charging the players for all those broken windows? Is that part of the NIL fund? Because they have shattered quite a few in batting practice. Stewart the other way. That one will reach the stands.
Well, I know you see them quickly get on the crane and replace the outer panels. They are double pane windows, so.
And the workers, the construction workers, have learned the hard way not to work during the games. We saw that earlier in the year. They were up there. That is a risky proposition when Katie Stewart in this offense comes up to the plate. And she skies another one to left field. The freshman has done it again. Back-to-back nights with bombs from Katie Stewart.
Well, Sherman tries to throw Katie Stewart off balance with an off-speed pitch, but Katie Stewart sits on this one and able to just absolutely pull this one left field, hit the bottom of the building. Freshman's 8th home run. She flexes so much power, but such an incredible hitter to back up Reese Atwood. You cannot avoid a single hitter in this Texas lineup, but if pitching wanted to avoid Reese Atwood, you can't because of what Katie Stewart can do behind her.
Exit velocity of 76 miles an hour. Enjoy that souvenir. I don't know why people continue to park out there.
263 feet.
We saw Jolie Mitchell dent a car this season as well. And now Texas really starting to get going offensively in this inning against the new pitcher. A double and a home run. Here's Alyssa Washington with no outs facing Lauren Sherman.
Well, and the key right now for Sherman is she's up in the zone, which Ralston was as well. So she's not changing Texas's eyes. Ralston actually throwing a little bit more firm than Sherman is. So Texas able to get on time with a little bit slower and up in the zone. The changeup probably not a bad option to Katie Stewart, but when you throw it high in the zone, she has the power to be able to pull it like she did.
Now a 3-0 count to Washington. Alyssa Washington fan there. Can she hit the target? She's left the yard 7 times this year. Earns a free pass here. First 3 batters of the inning have reached now against Sherman. Tough situation for a depleted pitching staff and a true freshman coming in, #1 team. One of the top offenses on the road.
You just really have to be able to hone in on your location. And right now, Sherman unable to locate anything consistently. Her curveball's going high and off the plate. You've seen the changeup down in the zone and up in the zone. Just hasn't found a groove yet. And Texas has made her pay for it.
Katie Simmons walked earlier in the game, fouls one off. Mentioned the pitching injuries that Iowa State has suffered. Lost their ace, Saya Swain, for the season just a few weeks into the year. Freshman Aziza Rodriguez missing 28 games, and Tatum Johnson over 30 as well. That has been tough to overcome for Iowa State. Katie Simmons. Pool is there. First out of the inning recorded.
Center fielder, number 21, Kaden Henry.
Here comes the freshman Kaden Henry, making the extraordinary seam routine as of late in center field. Every game we've been doing over about the past month, she has made at least one sensational play diving in center. There's a reason she's a top 25 finalist for the NFCA Freshman of the Year award.
And Texas boasting 2 of those, her and starting pitcher Tegan Kavan. They're roommates that able to continue to push each other to be better day in and day out. Although I don't know, actually I would. I'd love to be a fly on the wall, a few scrimmage and who gets who and what the conversation is once you get back to the dorm room.
Talk about the freshman classes that Mike White has brought in the past few years. I mean, last year you had Leanne Good and Vivi Martinez. Martinez breaking records as a freshman for Texas Good with a magnificent year. And then you follow that up bringing in Kaden Henry, Katie Stewart, and Tegan Kavan in the circle. It's no wonder Texas is the #1 team in the nation as Henry's retired.
Well, and as you build a roster year in and year out, that's what you want to be able to do. Is you really honestly want to be able to out-recruit what you already have on the field. You want to bring somebody in that's going to push an upperclassman, possibly take a starting role, be able to fill a spot if you graduate someone like a Janae Jefferson 2 years ago. And Coach White and Steve Singleton and his staff have been able to find those recruits and really not miss a beat. I mean, 2 years ago, as we mentioned, you saw the graduation of Janae Jefferson, and Vivi Martinez and Leanne Good came in and a solid middle infield that were both super young, but also so steady for Texas.
That was the big question for the Longhorns. How would they replace the likes of Janae Jefferson, Mary Iacopo, Haley Dolcini? But you compare Texas's numbers to that 2022 team. I mean, just a massive difference Texas significantly better in ERA and runs scored per game. As that one lifted to right field, Poole is there. And the inning comes to an end, but Texas scores 2 times.
College World Series and the championship, excuse me, to the championship series of the Women's College World Series. But the difference is the depth of the Texas lineup. And that's where you see the batting average. There's not just 4 or 5 good hitters in a lineup. All 9 can hurt you, and then you have a few on the bench that can come in as pinch hitters or obviously plug in if someone starts to slump, as we mentioned. And when you have 9 to 12 hitters who can just do the job day in and day out, it makes it so hard, 1, to pitch to you, but 2, it allows you to have numbers like that because everybody is contributing.
And despite, as Mike White said, not having a traditional ace, they've had one of the best team ERAs in program history. Carly Spellhog, towering fly ball to left field. 1 away. Get ready for the postseason. Texas with 1 more regular season series after this, and you wonder who is their game 1 starter once you hit the regionals. Is it Kavan? It's been on a roll. Citlali Gutierrez, who's had her moments. Mac Morgan, who when called upon has delivered. A lot of choices. Estelle Check has been terrific as well.
Well, as we said, the advantage of that, too, is you can look at a team's swing and see whose pitching repertoire matches up with that. Do they chase rise balls? You might go with Tegan Kavan. Do they not stay through a down ball really well? You might go Mac Morgan, you know, off speed with Citlali Gutierrez. There's just so many different ways Texas can attack opponents. And even if you don't have an ace, you just hope they're all starting to heat up and click on all cylinders at the same time. They're here down the home stretch, really.
Mike White said they are embracing that #1 ranking. It's not something you can ignore, especially this day and age. You can find that anywhere on social media. So he said, why fight it? Listen, we know we've been #1 for now 3 consecutive weeks, a program record. I'm not trying to pretend like the bullseye is not on our back.
Well, I liked his phrase. He said, we want to own it, not rent it. Felt like they just rented it for that 1 week earlier in season after they upset OU, right?
That's right. They were #1 and then lost to, was it LSU after that? Suffered a loss immediately after that #1 ranking dropped for a while.
Yes, they got the first #1 ranking early in season, lost to Houston, and also LSU on that road trip.
And with 1 away, Tatum Johnson, said battled injuries all year, ends up over at first.
Well, that's the first walk issued by Tegan Kavan tonight. Second free pass as she hit Ashley Minor in the 2nd inning, but the freshman has controlled the strike zone for the most part. She did use a lot of rise balls, and Tatum Johnson chased a lot of rise balls in her first at bat, so I think Coach Patty Ruth Taylor and Tegan Kavan both trying to see if they can entice a swing, but Johnson adjusting.
Kavan, the Iowa native, serving up a nice performance tonight against Iowa State. When it came time for a list of finalists, really had Texas in the running for her, UCLA and FSU, but Mike White called signing her mission #1 for this year's class. First heard about her from a pitching coach he knew in Iowa, and it was just relentless going after her.
Austin White was also a reason Tegan chose Texas, because she knew she'd be able to get developed, and that Coach White's philosophy and manner was similar to what she was already used to.
Ahead 1-2 with some heat to Knowles. 5 strikeouts on the night. There's number 6.
Well, she's doing a great job elevating in the zone, something we didn't see her do a lot mid-season, but letting this ball take up and off out of the zone. Iowa State unable to lay off. Tegan Kavan is cooking.
The bunt laid down by Wardlow. Atwood fires one over to first. And Texas is clicking on all. Taken by the Carolina Panthers in round number 2. I know a lot of Cowboys fans around here were hoping for him, and Jerry Jones said they were looking at him, but oh well.
Beggars can't be choosers.
1-0 on the way to Maloney. Lauren Sherman coming out of the pen in a 1-0 game. Gave up the double to Atwood, homer to Stewart, walked to Alyssa Washington, but then settled down to retire the last 3 batters of the last inning.
Too bad it's not like 5 years earlier. I could have given Jonathan's family plenty of Panthers gear.
That's right. You had a connection there.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera.
Yeah, his daughter actually was a pitcher at UCLA, and prior to going to college, I met her while I was in Chicago, and he was actually the defensive coordinator for the Bears. So made that connection and kind of have just been a fan of whatever team they're with at the time.
There's a big Texas connection to Carolina. You had one, Fozzie Whitaker.
Yep, Fozzie actually played for Coach Rivera while he was there. So I got to see Fozzie. We go out there once a year. Got to see him a couple times. Actually scheduled it perfectly one time. Brian Robinson was actually playing against the Panthers, so I got to see him too. He stopped before they went in the huddle or into the tunnel and came and said hi. So
fellow LHN co-workers. That one over to short, handled nicely by Ranchez. For a moment it looked like it would pull Spellhog off, but made the grab for out number 1.
Iowa State doing a great job of silencing Maloney tonight after going 4 for 4 last night. 0 for 3 right now. Has put the ball in play hard, but unable to come up with a base hit.
Here's Mia Scott, who came up with a base hit. A long base hit in the 3rd inning. Solo shot to break the scoreless tie. Her 5th home run of the season. Came up with her 200th career hit earlier this season, more than 100 RBIs as well. This was Scott in the 3rd inning. Ralston had given up a number of fly balls, and finally Texas got one to leave the yard.
On that second time through, Texas just adjusted to the speed of Ralsted and staying above the ball just a little bit more. Now Sherman in, throwing in the low 60s and trying to mix both up and down, along with a little bit of a changeup.
I mean, Scott has already walked 22 times this year. 3rd most on the team. There's number 23 on 4 pitches. Could this be the inning, by the way, for the hitter that is now on deck, Reese Atwood? Waiting to get some runners on for her with a chance to break the record. But first, it's Vivi Martinez, 0 for 2.
You just had to possibly jinx it, didn't you?
Yes, that's my job. Say what you see. As you just shake your head in disgust. Martinez hitting .350 on the year. Hit nearly that same exact mark last year in that record-setting season when she drove in 52.
Well, essentially, it was Vivi Martinez loud out to right field that chased Ralston from the game. A line shot that almost got over the head of Poole out there in right field. Been very impressed with how the sophomore has ridden kind of the ebbs and flows of season. She didn't start out as hot, got hot a couple times, cooled off again, but just been able to be steady, not make too much of it. And as we mentioned, really caught fire about 10 games ago.
Texas with 3 runs off 4 hits. 3 walks as well.
Sherman working that outer half, trying to elevate it right there against Martinez. Martinez just under it a little bit to get that foul ball straight back.
Martinez into the gap it goes. Racing around the bases is Mia Scott. She will head home, and Vivi Martinez with her third RBI double in the last 24 hours.
Well, Sherman was staying on the outer half, and Vivi Martinez got behind on 2 balls knee height. This one almost a ball off, but she's still able to go with that pitch. Left center gap for some power. Mia Scott with the speed, able to score easily.
So here we go. Now a runner in scoring position for Reese Atwood, trying to set the new single season RBI mark here at Texas. Ball one from the freshman Sherman. And a 2-0 count. Atwood second in the nation in RBIs. 2 behind Miami of Ohio's Jenna Golubowski. Fouls one off. Been on fire over her last 6 games now. 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. Had a double in the last inning as well.
Well, we have 475 with runners in scoring position. Just has been so big for Texas with runners in scoring position.
Atwood over to short, handled by Ranchez, on to first. 2 away. That was a rocket off the bat of Reese, but handled nicely by the senior.
Great job by Ranchez on that. First thought it might squeak up the middle. Good angle by the shortstop.
Here comes Katie Stewart. Double and a home run tonight, and a home run last night.
She just always finds a way to do something here at McCombs Field.
Why is that? You've mentioned the pretty big difference in home numbers compared to away for Katie Stewart.
Sometimes it's just a comfort factor. You have a routine that you are dead set on at home. You know, you get to the facility at a certain time, you know, make the same drive, listen to the same music, whatever it is. And
oh, she launches another one off the top of the wall. Katie Stewart will drive in run number 5 on the night for Texas. She's just getting a hold of them. That's her 3rd hit of the night.
well, this pitch down and out, but Katie Stewart able to drive this dead center, misses a home run by about 3 feet off the wall. Hits it so hard she can only get a single out of that one, but Katie Stewart seeing beach balls right now.
Stewart just a triple shy of the cycle. Here's Alyssa Washington, who walked in the 4th inning. We were scoreless after 2, but you could tell Texas was about to break through. They were hitting the ball hard on those fly ball outs. Scored 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 2 so far here in the 5th. With the Alyssa Washington fans looking on as she watches this count go 2-0.
Well, this senior class is going to be one that fans really are going to miss, whether it's the steadiness of Alyssa Washington, the passion that Bella Dayton and Estelle Check play with. You have Jordan Whitaker, who's come up with some clutch hits in her career here as well.
It's a good mix of personalities. Talk about Bella Dayton, Alyssa Washington, even Jordan Whitaker. We've talked about earlier in the year how selfless she has been, helping the younger players.
Yeah, each senior got a midweek senior day for themselves, and Jordan Whitaker during hers actually got pinch run for with Adea Wallace, and they were going to put Whitaker back in to get another at bat. And she quickly said, does that mean Adea doesn't get an at bat? And they were like, no, she won't. And she said, never mind, just let her go ahead and get an at bat. So big for the senior.
Speaks volumes about her character. Washington off of Sherman. At this point, you just want to make sure the freshman is okay in the circle. Texas, Katie Simmons at the plate. 2 on, 2 away.
Well, in this situation, Katie Simmons represents what could be the game-ending run. If she were to leave the yard, that's an 8-run rule. Coach Jamie Pinkerton and his staff doing what they can to extend this game, keep Texas from possibly ending it here in the 5th.
Sends one to left field, and Allen on the run makes the grab. Her thing in center field. Helping Texas take a 5-0 lead now to inning number 6 here in the series opener. By the way, we do want to take the time to give a shout out to your Aunt Michelle. I didn't know you have a whole stats crew working behind the scenes on the NFL draft. We mentioned Jonathan Brooks, former Texas running back, was taken in the 2nd round by the Panthers. And you got a text from Aunt Michelle saying he was, reminding us, the first running back taken in this year's NFL draft.
Yeah, I get all sorts of tidbits thrown here and there. And I'm not usually the football savvy one, so I will not take credit for that, but yes.
A lot of work going into this production behind the scenes as Malaysia Ochoa fouls one off. Tegan Kavan has struck out Ochoa twice so far. 6 strikeouts on the night for the freshman Kavan.
Ochoa saw an 8-pitch at bat in the 1st inning to chase a rise ball up and in, and then Kavan froze her in the 3rd on a changeup. Kavan's starting to get a little bit more behind these hitters, though, and I don't want to say it's adjusting because Iowa State's swinging. But Ochoa swung, and here we go.
3rd time through the order results in a leadoff double for Iowa State, their first extra base hit of the night, courtesy of Malaysia Ochoa.
Left fielder Angelina Allen.
Well, behind in the count, knowing she can swing hard, Ochoa takes this inside pitch and drives it just right down the line. Nothing Katie Stewart can do as that gets rocketed by her. Easy double for the senior.
So with a runner in scoring position, here comes Angelina Allen, top 10 in the nation in batting average and doubles. And kept at bay so far tonight, 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts. Sends one to left center. That's going to bounce off the track and the wall. And the Cyclones have scored their first run of the night on back-to-back doubles.
Well, now this is where it comes into play that Coach Pinkerton wanted to see his team swing early in the count. This a low outside pitch to Angelina Allen, and she just takes it right to the left center gap. Ochoa easily scoring from 2nd. But Iowa State, Alex, a formidable offensive team. They're able to score runs. They're able to leave the yard. So to think it was going to be a shutout, a little overarching in my opinion.
This is a team, again, that trailed Baylor by 2 in the 7th, came back to win that game, and they were tied with Oklahoma State in the 7th inning before walking that one off.
Well, and here's where you see Tegan Kavan. She got 3 balls on Malaysia Ochoa before she hit that double. Angelina Allen wasn't going to waste any time seeing a good pitch. Now behind 2-0 against Ranchez, unable to throw that changeup in the strike zone right now. And that's going to be a difference maker. She has to be able to locate that changeup.
Washington backing up to make the grab in shallow right center. So Malaysia Ochoa and Angelina Allen, top 2 in the Big 12 in doubles. And Allen, top 3 in program history, get the Cyclones on the board. One away now for Ashley Miner, the cleanup hitter, who was hit by Kavan in the second.
Well,
yeah, third time through the order. This is looking like a different matchup here for Kavan.
Well, it is. Iowa State starting to swing, but those were the first 2 really squared up balls that they've had. So while Tegan Kavan adjusts just a little bit, doesn't need to try to overdo it. But you see the rise ball out of the zone when she's not ahead in the count. The changeup was in the dirt against Ranchez early. Just has to be able to be a little bit more fine later innings of the game.
Mac Morgan and Sophia Simpson warming up in case they're needed. It's a called strike on Miner.
Well, it's that pitch right there that Tegan Kavan has to be able to continue to locate both on the inner and outer half. And you got to tip your hat. Angelina Allen took a really good pitch to the left center gap. But Tegan Kavan, as a freshman, just has to be able to keep her composure and continue to attack the strike zone and trust her stuff.
(3-1) on the way. 3 of the first 4 batters in this inning have reached against Kavan. Coming into this inning, had given up just a single on the night. With a big opportunity for her club to get right back in this ball game. You saw Kavan go after her. After the walk, you would think the coaching staff is saying, listen, I mean, just throw it over the plate. Even if you give up a home run, we still have the lead. You have to throw strikes. That one bunted in the air, unable to get to it, is Mia Scott, so that'll be a strike.
Well, Poole trying to use a bunt, even though because Texas is playing back. So you see Mia Scott playing behind, or even with the bag, Poole trying to drop a sneaky bunt in there, but the upspin of Tegan Kavan brings that up in the air.
Swing and a miss, and a big strikeout for Tegan Kavan.
Well, what a response by the freshman after back-to-back doubles and a walk. Elevates inside against Poole. Big strikeout for the second out here in the 6th inning.
Here is one of the best hitters in Iowa State history, Carly Spellhog. Recorded the 200th hit of her career on Tuesday. Has driven in 18 runs on the season. As time now a major factor for Iowa State, down to their last 4 outs of the night. 2 on, 2 away.
Well, there you see what the seniors have been able to do. Leading in triples for 2 years in a row. That just shows your ability to hit down the lines, hit the gap, but also the speed. But career doubles, 2nd in Iowa State history.
Throw back to first, not in time. Pinch runner Morris taking over at first. Allen at second. Spellhog just smashes that one, but in front of it just a bit, so it turned foul.
Well, Spellhog came out attacking the first pitch as well, able to go up with it, foul ball. We've seen that from her the last 2 at-bats, actually. 2-2 count, though. Tegan Kavan has some room to be able to try to stretch the plate or work down in the zone. Changeup has been dropping out. If she can elevate it just a little bit to get a swing and miss, I think she'd have Spellhog out on her front foot a little bit.
2-2 with 2 on, 2 away. Spellhog to left field. Another hit in this inning for Iowa State's going to bring home run number 2 on the night. It's a 5-2 ball game. It's 3 doubles in this inning off Kavan for Iowa State.
Well, Kavan does go with a changeup, but it stays up in the zone, and Spellhog pulls that right down the left field line. Nothing Bella Dayton can do except for try to get the play at third base. Great hitting by the Cyclones.
Double number 9 on the year for Spellhawk. 3 doubles and a walk for Iowa State's offense. Here is Tatum Johnson taking strike number 1. She struck out in the second and got a free pass in the 5th inning. Crucial moment in this ball game with the tying run at the plate. Quick throw back to third. And just getting back was Morris as the count goes 0-2.
Such a quick snap throw by Reese Atwood, but Morris not far off the bag, does get her hand there before Mia Scott gets the tag on her helmet, but great throw by Reese Atwood on that pitch.
Count 2-2 to Johnson.
I say a lot of times it's a game of inches, and one more inch off that base, Maris might have been hosed.
She's at third, Spellhawk at second. The 2-2 to Johnson. Just got a piece of that one to stay alive. Battled through injuries this year. And Iowa State's offense coming alive here in the 6th inning. Kavan trying to shut the door with 2 on and 2 away. Full count coming up.
Kavan continuing to pound the outside. Got Johnson swinging through 2 of them to get 0-2, but Johnson able to be patient after that. Big pitch here for Kavan.
And the bases will be loaded for Iowa State. Time is called by Jamie.
Because now Knoll is burned. She cannot come back into the game.
Strike 1 for Kavan. And also with a clutch home run, the first of her career last year, late in the big ranked win over Baylor, but is behind 0-2. Tegan Kavan, 7 strikeouts on the night. 3 walks and a couple of earned runs. Trying to keep it a 5-2 ball game. Over 100 pitches on the night. The 0-2. Got her!
Up 5-4 in the top of the 6th.
Should be an interesting finish to the season. Again, after this weekend, Texas heads to Lubbock for the regular season finale against Texas Tech. The Longhorns, meanwhile, sending up a pinch hitter, the freshman Victoria Hunter, adding 400 on the year, a couple of homers and a couple of doubles.
As Texas goes into the home stretch, they want everybody hitting on all cylinders, and that means getting athletes like Victoria Hunter some pinch hit opportunities, so that way they see live pitching more so than just in batting practice.
Hunter to shallow left center, and backing up was Ranchez to make the grab. Again, Iowa State's numbers, everything about their stats deceiving. 5-13 in Big 12 play. The pitching numbers, the ERA, they don't jump out at you, but this team continues to battle, especially in big games like this one.
Well, they're always a gritty team that fights till the end, and that's what Jamie Pinkerton hangs his hat on. But we've talked about it. Offensively, they can hang with almost any team in the country. They made some good adjustments against Tegan Kavan.
Just turned foul off the bat of Dayton.
But the key is, do you have the pitching staff that can keep a power offense like Texas at bay? And Texas was starting to square Ralston up early in the game, so they made a change. Didn't work out in their favor, but Coach Pinkerton and his staff gonna look and see what matchups might work as they have 2 more games in the series.
Dayton into the gap it goes. Texas has won 85% of the games she's gotten a hit in since she arrived on the 40 acres. And there's her first of the night with 1 away here in the 6th inning, and we go back up to the top of the order. Ashton Maloney's due, went 4 for 4 last night, 0 for 3 this evening. And top 15 in the country in batting average. Bella Dayton with plenty of speed over at first. She's going, and the throw just missed. Dayton is in scoring position. Stolen base number 11 on the season.
Well, this is a great throw by Marin behind home plate, but Bella Dayton slides to the far part of the bag. And that hand gets to that far corner, right out of the reach of Ranchez at shortstop.
We talked about Texas's speed. Coming into the night, they had 71 stolen bases and the power 55 home runs. And that was before Mia Scott went yard, as well as Katie Storr. Leading the Big 12 in stolen bases now with 72. Maloney sends one to left. Allen was playing shallow, but makes the grab on the run. Tricky play for Angelina Allen.
Well, even though Ashton Maloney is a slapper, she can put it out into the outfield. She sees the outfield playing a little bit shallow. Power slap just under it, a little bit too much, that allows Angelina Allen to get back on that ball, but she almost burned the left fielder.
So with 2 away, it's Mia Scott's turn. Homered in the 3rd inning, walked in the 5th. You look at the performance by Jaden Ralston tonight in the circle. She has only allowed 1 run to one of the best offenses in the nation. 1 run in 4 innings. Remember, they took her out when she was only trailing 1-0.
She was only trailing 1-0, but Mia Scott had just hit a shot to right center field. Bella Dayton and Vivi Martinez also 2 hard line drives in that inning. So Texas was starting to time her up, but the mix-up with Sherman in the middle forces Texas to have to get back on time. Ralston does throw harder than Sherman, so you get comfortable with low 60s, and then it speeds up on you just a little bit, especially with upspin.
And she's the perfect example of their stats being deceiving. Came in with an ERA a little under 5. It has been very good. Missing there as the count evened up.
I will say one of Jamie Pinkerton's keys was that the defense had to play clean. They couldn't give Texas extra outs, and they have not done that in game 1 of this series so far.
Perfect defense for both squads tonight. 2-2 on the way to Scott. Full count coming up.
Well, that catch by Angelina Allen is actually a prime example of that. That ball falls. That could be an extra out, extra hitter for Texas. She makes a play on Ashton Maloney, and Texas doesn't score a run and have one of their fastest runners on base. So the defense has really been able to back up Ralston tonight.
And she calls time. Texas with 5 runs off 8 hits, no errors. Iowa State 2-4-0.
Great job by Mia Scott to work ahead in this count 3-2 after going down 0-2 really early.
Scott over to second, snared by Wardlow. 9, 1, and 2 hitters here in the 7th. Olivia Wardlow leading off for the Cyclones.
Well, the junior is still going to throw in the upper 60s, similar to Kavan, but she's going to be all down in the zone. A lot of drop balls. She may change the eyes just a little bit as a show-me pitch, but a heavy drop that's hard to stay through, so a lot of ground balls to Texas's defense.
Hey, you know Iowa State's going to put the ball in play. There was a lot of strikes. Mike White, of course, said when Mac is pitching, our defense has to be at their best. Wardlow has been one of the best hitters on the team this year. Now batting .306. Swing and a miss. A strikeout for Morgan, fresh out of the pen, 1 away.
We talk about the ground balls she gets, but she stretches the plate with a drop outside, and Wardlaw unable to lay off that one. I want to say an uncharacteristic strikeout for Mac Morgan.
Morgan 27 in just over 67 innings. So here's Malaysia Ochoa. First pitch to left. And Iowa State down to their final out of the night. Texas looking to tie a program record with their 9th save of the year as a staff. Morgan facing Angelina Allen. There is strike one. Allen doubled in the 6th inning, one of the top hitters in the nation this year. But the Cyclones just about out of time tonight.
Well, one thing Coach White likes about Mac Morgan, too, is just how quickly she works. Not only tempo, she gets back on the mound really quickly, but her efficiency. 2 outs and 4 pitches here in the top of the 7th.
Two-one on the way to Allen. Misses outside.
Mac Morgan trying to paint the corners, not going to give Allen anything too good, knowing the batting average, the power potential. That pitch just misses a little bit wide of the outside corner.
And a full count with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Crowd starts to get on their feet here at McCombs Field. Payoff pitch. And a 2-out walk sends Allen over to first. Here comes Alicia Ranchez now in the 3 spot.
Shortstop.
Having a career year at the plate, trying to keep the night alive for the Cyclones. Morgan misses.
Right now, Mac Morgan just overdoing it a little bit. Her ball does drop, but she's forcing and pushing it down in the zone. It's never looking like a strike to Iowa State. She came out firing to Olivia Wardlaw. Great pitches in that at bat. Also just called time herself, as she normally does. Give herself a beat, extra couple seconds to regroup. I wouldn't want to be Reese Atwood and Katie Stewart and have to figure out how to communicate and work with 5 different arms on a staff.
Well, now the count goes 2-0. The last thing you absolutely want to see if you're Mac Morgan is put another runner on and bring the tying run up to the plate. There is strike one. Mac Morgan 10-1 so far this year. They've called on her in a variety of different roles as a starter, reliever, trying to close this one out and pick up the save. 3-1. Swing and a miss.
There's a great pitch by Mac Morgan. And you see it in her face. She's intense. She knew she had to make an adjustment. Has to be able to repeat that pitch right here.